This is Matt.
This is Seth.
Welcome to
The Unbroken Net.
This is a podcast where we're going to share with you some ridiculous ideas.
Yeah, and who cares if you believe what we believe? Just think for yourself.
That's all we're asking. Good day, and welcome to this episode of The Unbroken Net. Today we are going to be talking about James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18. So, Seth, would you start us off by reading that?
Of course. Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. For where jealousy and self-ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Some wise words in this passage.
There you go.
So who is wise and understanding among us?
Me.
You? I agree, but who else is then?
You know, it comes down to where's your heart at. Are you trying to be something greater than yourself, or are you trying to be yourself? Are you trying to make a name for yourself, to set your throne above the throne of the Most High? Or are you trying to simply be a brother or a sister to those around you? You know, there's a difference.
Right. And he goes on by saying, by his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of his wisdom.
Yeah.
So interesting. So he kind of, he's pulling back from where he was saying, he was talking about faith and works. And faith without works is dead. So someone who is wise, they must have works. So if he's also, would you say that he's actually saying somebody who's wise also has faith?
Yeah.
I would say so too. That would make sense.
I mean, you have to have an understanding of who you've been made to be before you can realize who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and how do you know who you are meant to be? Well, that's through faith. Through faith. Just being a son of God, made in the image and after the likeness of God.
Right.
And God is not trying to set himself to be better than he is. God is not trying to set himself to be above anyone. In fact, God showed us true humility by emptying himself and walking among us. And still today, we have God reaching out to us, speaking to us, talking with us, walking with us, protecting us, and allowing us to even go through trials and tribulations for the purpose of perfecting us and growing us. So we look at our works, and are our works there to encourage our brothers and sisters to be more like God? Are our works there to, even if we take our eyes off of our brothers and sisters, are our works there to show us a humble spirit, a meek spirit, a spirit that says, I am not going to exalt myself over anyone. I'm not going to force my way or seek my desires, my fleshly desires. I'm going to seek that which is spiritual, that which is true, that which is constant, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like you actually can see somebody, if somebody's wise, by their works, or by the fruit that comes from them.
Yeah.
And you said meek as well, and he says that as well, meekness of wisdom. What does he mean when he says meekness of wisdom?
Because wisdom doesn't force itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom allows to be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom allows people to be where they're at so that they can grow to be who they are.
Mm. So what does it mean to be meek anyways? Like,
Meek is a word, in my opinion,
mm-hmm.
that means humble, not self-exalted, compassionate, willing to look at others as equals, not inferior and not superior, just as equal.
Yeah, I like that. And that's kind of where I'm at with that word meek. Actually, I didn't think about the seeing people as equals would be being meek, and it seems like having this meekness is a wisdom of itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's wise to be meek.
Mm-hmm.
And after you say meek 100 times, it sounds really weird.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say what it means to not be wise, I would say. So he says, but if you have bitter jealousy and self-ambition in your hearts,
Mm-hmm.
do not boast and be false to the truth.
Mm. And the truth is, we are equal.
Mm.
But if you're trying to be something greater than yourself or greater than another, or if you want something that belongs to someone else,
Mm-hmm.
that's not your place. You earn your way, you know.
Yeah. So it's interesting that if you feel jealousy, it's maybe you're feeling that somebody has something. You're feeling lower than somebody else because they have something that you would like to have.
Yep.
And then I guess he couples that with self-ambition,
Mm-hmm.
which that's kind of odd to me. And like self-ambition doesn't seem like a bad thing.
And in my translation, it says selfish ambition.
Oh, you know what? That's what it says in mine too. I guess I was just my eyes are being very meek this morning. Or
Yeah.
weak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jealousy and selfish ambition. Okay, not self-ambition. That's still good. Okay, selfish ambition. That makes sense. So somebody's who is doing something out of pretty much jealousy.
Jealousy or trying to exalt themselves over another.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And then do not boast and be false to the... No, what does that mean? Do not boast and be false to the truth?
And you can boast in both directions, right? We have jealousy, which says you have something I don't have. And then you have selfish ambition, which says I have something that you don't have.
Mm.
Yeah. But what do we truly have? What do we truly possess? We possess the whole earth. That's what we possess. All of us together. This is our only inheritance, is what we have. Unless there's something more in the next life that I don't know about because I haven't been there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I know, our inheritance is the earth. And, you know, we look at the earth like it's something to be used. And in that, you can see that selfish ambition. I'm superior to the earth, and I must lord over it. That's not what we need to do. You know, we're not to be masters of the earth, but we are to be stewards of the earth.
Right.
You know, taking care.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be trying to. Yeah, we shouldn't be trying to just get what we can out of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
but to live peaceably with it, in a sense.
Yeah.
And that goes for every living creature, and even to each other. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah. So he says, "This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly." That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Unspiritual, demonic.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing he says is earthly, which kind of seems like it flies in the face of what you just said.
Well, there's a difference, right? This world, I'll use world instead of earthly,
Mm-hmm.
but this world, and by that I do not mean the physical, but I mean the drives of the world and the drives of the earth come from the fallen one, who seeks to exalt himself and be better and to be master of all these others. What does it mean to be worldly? But it's the pride of life and the desires of the flesh. This is not what we're striving to achieve.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I get. That's what I think as well. It's like when he says earthly, or if you hear in the Bible, they say worldly. It's really talking about the just kind of how we've tried to make ourselves better than others, or how the world. This idea that we have to step on people to get to the top, to be better than everyone else,
And even quote unquote serving others because they need you, right? Uncle Sam needs you. Well, no one really needs you, and yet you play a vital role in this whole thing. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. If you were gone, someone would take your place, you know? And don't exalt yourself to be the Messiah. You're not the Messiah. You know, you're a son of God just like everyone else.
right?
And we can serve one another out of love. But if we're serving one another out of pride, I have what you need. Come to me and I'll give it to you. That's not our role. That's not our role.
And actually, thinking about this, wouldn't that be the opposite of like helping each other out and living in community and living peaceably with one another? Wouldn't that be kind of the opposite of kind of how the creatures of this world, how they live? Like maybe they like packs of wolves, they pack together, but they it seems like creatures are usually out for themselves. They're not. They're trying to just survive.
Just watch the birds fight over a scrap of food. You know?
Yeah.
They're not sharing with one another. They're trying to get it all for themselves.
Yeah. So maybe don't be like the animals of this world, but be something different, set apart. Something that has a spirit, like and spirit that's from God, that we are sons and daughters of God. And he says also don't be unspiritual or demonic. Oh, it's interesting. He says unspiritual and then demonic. Isn't demonic a spiritual presence?
You know, that's interesting. I was just reading about Saul, the king that came before David. And it said that he had an evil spirit from God. And I had to think about that. Like, that is not what you picture. You picture an evil spirit as being from Satan.
Right.
being from the fallen one, the accuser. And yet God is sovereign over this. And what does it mean to be demonic? What does it mean to be evil? And it's the opposite of being spiritual or godly. And it's really about being something you're not. Being something you're not means to be demonic.
Right. Interesting about Saul. Didn't Samuel say that Saul was pretty much that way because he had an unrepentant heart?
Yeah. And he had a heart that wanted to kill David because he saw David as accomplishing things that he couldn't accomplish. Remember when David comes in from the battle, all the women were singing David's praise, and they're like, Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his tens thousands.
Right.
And that's where it really started to set in with Saul, because what do we find there? Selfish ambition and bitter jealousy. Exactly. Yeah.
So that does not breed good things.
No.
I mean, look at the Saul. That's not a good ending with Saul.
No, it wasn't.
And unfortunately for his son too, Jonathan. Yeah. All right. So then, he does say unspiritual and demonic. And that's kind of, I guess that's what we see when we see jealousy and selfish ambition. Not self-ambition. Is that in spiritual and demonic nature.
Mm-hmm. And demonic leads to chaos.
Yeah.
It leads to confusion,
Yeah, actually that makes me think of Nebuchadnezzar, when he exalted himself over God, and he was given a mind of a beast for was it 7 years?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually ate the grass of the field. He hung out with the donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Until he repented of that, changed his mind about what he thought about who he was.
Mm-hmm.
That he was not really exalted over everyone else.
No.
That everybody, I mean, we would see it as everybody being a son and daughter of God.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. So verse 16, for where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, so there's that selfish ambition again, there will be disorder and every vile practice.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes with what we were just talking about.
Exactly.
We pretty much covered this verse already.
Yeah. Yeah, disorder and every vile practice. And again, what is the natural order for humanity is equality. What is America supposed to strive to accomplish? A brotherhood, an equality among all people. And even an equality among all quote unquote religions. Not thinking your way is the only way, but rather your way is a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think America was kind of founded on that religions can exist together, and I think the thought was that Christianity would just be shown to be the better, but I mean, we're still here where that's not the case, really.
No.
But the thought of being able to coexist. Oh, I said coexist. Bumper stickers. I know we see those all over the place. But being able to just commune with one another and not discount one another, and become thinking we are better than one another, and actually setting war against one another. That's not the way God wants us to act.
No, he wants us to love one another.
Yeah.
What is the solution to our world problems? Love one another.
Right. Yeah, and why should we war against somebody that I believe we should see them as a son of God as well.
Mm-hmm. As an equal.
As an equal.
With the same inheritance that we have.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And then verse 17, but the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Now, before we get to all those, he's kind of creating an order here. He says first pure, then peaceable.
And because what is pure? Pure is without, how do I want to say without impurities, but
maybe without dishonesty, or
maybe pure is better, complete and untainted.
Yeah,
You know,
I like that.
complete,
Not defiled.
not defiled. Yeah.
Yeah. So first, there can't be an impurity.
Mm-hmm. And what are the impurities when it comes to wisdom? Bitter jealousy and selfish ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have to have that first before you can be peaceable. Or maybe I wonder if you have to have that before you can be peaceable.
You know, you can strive for peace, and that's the start. You know, if you've gone to a place where you have that selfish ambition or that jealousy, then you have to work your way from there. And it starts with seeking peace,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a truce, you know.
Right. And it seems like many of these, they're just kind of the things that he's talking about that that you get from wisdom from above. They're all very related, like peaceable, gentle, open to reason. So if you're open to reason, then you're going to be able to listen to the other side, and then and actually have a peaceable conversation.
And actually learn.
Yeah. It's like not thinking that we have all the answers. Like the beginning of wisdom is knowing that you don't have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Answers are not wisdom.
No.
But being open to hear everyone else, because you're not going to know everything.
No.
And he also says full of mercy and good fruits.
Yeah. Mercy. When I think of mercy, I think of withholding punishment. You know, withholding retaliation. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, it's I mean, obviously, if you're full of mercy, you're going to be peaceable and gentle.
Mm-hmm.
It's this seems like what we should be striving for in our lives is just having this pureness of being peaceable and gentle, and we can if we hold all these things, then how much better would our worlds be just how we relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no longer are we trying to war against the people that we think are lower than us.
That's right.
Well, we wouldn't think that way.
No. Because there is no one lower than us. And there is no one greater than us.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
There is no us and them. That seems to be a very common theme among people, is us and them, right? You have the right and the left. You have the Christian and the non-Christian, the godly and the ungodly, you know, and you can do that in all religions. You know, you have those who follow the religion, and then you have the unbelievers, whatever that means. Everyone believes something. Everyone believes something. There's no such thing as an unbeliever. You have a belief. You might not have the same beliefs that I have, but you have beliefs, right? And if we share our beliefs with one another, if we reason our beliefs with one another, we'll both learn from each other.
Yeah.
We'll gain perspective, we'll gain understanding. In fact, we'll gain wisdom.
Mm.
And even display wisdom.
Exactly. And the last thing he says, impartial and sincere.
Oh, you forgot the good fruits.
Did I not say good fruits?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you said it, but we didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it. Yeah, what is this good fruits that we're talking?
It goes back to the works, right?
Yeah.
And you will have good works. Let him show his works, your good works. And your actions are going to follow your heart. And you can judge where your heart is at if you take an honest inventory of where your actions are at. Because you always act upon what you truly believe.
Right. Right, and if you have the wisdom that we're talking about from above, you're probably going to have that. That's probably where your heart's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your belief is, where your faith is.
Mm-hmm. And
faith in being peaceable and gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. And sincere. Sounds like I'm saying insincere, but...
Impartial.
Yeah.
Impartial. Like, it's easy to choose our favorites,
Mm-hmm.
But... all people should be our favorite. The person in front of us should be our favorite. Until there's another person in front of us, then they should be our favorite. And yet not even favorite. Giving, I would say favorite. Trying to give your favors to.
Yeah. Like we wouldn't have partiality with our children, right?
No.
Or we shouldn't.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Yeah, because God is impartial towards us, right? We all get the same thing.
Right. Yeah, and it's not that, it's almost when saying impartial feels like it's charged with not caring, but that's not the same thing.
No.
And being impartial just means that everybody has the equal share, essentially.
And being impartial means you care for everyone, or you care for no one,
Yeah.
But you're treating everyone the same, And I like to strive in my own life after treating everyone equally, as equals, as joint heirs,
Mm-hmm. Right. And it seems like, I guess another way I would say is that if you are partial to everyone, then you are impartial to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't set somebody especially yourself above everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And don't have that selfish ambition.
Mm-hmm.
And jealousy.
And don't set anyone else above another.
Yeah.
So
why does he say and sincere?
Because you can do all these things out of pride.
Okay. Like you could be
like,
I'm better than everybody else because I am peaceable, gentle, and open to reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I've been there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually being open to reason for this, and I'm being peaceable and full of mercy. So, yeah, it's you can't come at it as prideful. So that's a good thing. That's a great thing that he put in there to be sincere.
Yeah, it has to be genuine.
Yeah.
know?
Now, actually, the last verse does kind of tag onto this, and he says, "And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace."
Mm-hmm.
So, what is righteousness, or
Well, righteousness is the state of being right,
yeah,
just, and a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. This is my dream, that we would all be righteous, that we would all recognize our godliness and our godly character and our excuse me, godly lineage,
right.
know, and that there would be peace among all.
Yeah. So having that is sown, or the reaping this righteousness is just when we sow peace, right? So we sow peace, and that is by the people who make peace, which I don't think that's just making peace with our Christian brothers.
Well, no, that's where the impartiality comes in, right? You want peace among all. At least I do.
Yeah.
We want peace among all people. Goodwill and peace to those whom God has loved. That's what the angels announced at the birth of Jesus. Goodwill and peace among those with whom God is well pleased.
Yeah. Right. And so, I mean, saying all this, I mean, it's easier for us to sit here and just talk about being wise and that we should be peaceable and have mercy. But what happens when we are being attacked?
So this is where the non-retaliation comes in. Jesus was attacked and he did not retaliate.
Right.
And we look at our lives, and when someone comes against us, we try to reason with them. But if they're unwilling to reason with us, we just have to step back and let them stew in their earthly wisdom until it gets them to the place where they realize that earthly wisdom doesn't work. It doesn't bring peace. It only brings hostility.
Yeah. And so what if somebody is attacking somebody else, like somebody that you care for?
Well, even someone you don't care for, you should, at least I would, step in and say, hey, let's look at this here and recognize that this is the wrong way to behave.
Yeah.
And we should seek to defend those who are being attacked.
Yeah, I agree. If we all came to the aid of the one who is the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it doesn't really matter what the cause for what they believe. You don't even have to agree with somebody. I think you can come to their defense if somebody's attacking someone else.
Yep.
I think that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that is, if you can get, I think there could be a lot of peace that comes from that if you were there, to disrupt that attack.
Yeah, by those who make peace.
Right.
Peace doesn't just happen. Peace is something that takes effort. And you make it. You construct peace. You seek peace. You seek to display the equality through your character.
Yeah, and that's what should be sown, is that peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point that there's going to be a harvest of righteousness from that.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts on this passage? Any other wise thoughts from you, Matt?
Well, don't believe what we say because we say it. Try it out. Put it into practice and look at the results. Look at the fruit,
Yeah. Always look at the fruit of your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Always look at the fruit of what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of wisdom are you producing from that?
Mm-hmm.
Or what fruits are you producing from that wisdom, I should say.
That wisdom that you have.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, we do appreciate you listening this week. And if you like this, go ahead and like the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to.
And don't be afraid to share it.
Oh, yeah. And go ahead and share it. And if you want to hear this every week, go ahead and subscribe. And we will catch you next week. Take care.
Bye now.